I've said it before, I'll say it again. I make these videos a lot of times to just document and archive my comic collecting experience. Believe this video is more or less to tell my future self that I need to make sure that I keep sorting my comics under control because it was just out of control. I've spent about 15 hours in the last couple of days sorting books down into publishers. Uh, Apparently I collect 27 different publishers over the course of the last like 4 years that I've been collecting comics, and man, it was something else. I was really overwhelmed in the beginning, but once I got started on it and everything, it was just a matter of doing it. I made a video a couple of weeks ago that I was talking about trying to sell some of my comics, and I still plan on doing that, but it was almost impossible to me to try to get rid of any kind of runs or anything on books because the fact they just weren't sorted at all, and to try to find every book of a run was almost impossible to do. The way that I've gone about sorting my comics while I've been collecting is that I'll buy a short box and I'll bag and board books. I'll put them in that box after I get done reading them, and then when that box is full, I'll label that box for the months and year that those books were from. But the problem with that is that sometimes you don't get around to reading books exactly when they come out. Everybody gets backlogged and everything, and not only that, but with the gaps in some series and the fact that sometimes they'll take 2 or 3, 4 months off, it's almost impossible to try to go through and find whole series runs on, sagas or, stuff like that I'm trying to find. So, I finally decided, man, just to sit down and try to sort through my comics. And, there were positives to this. I got to see a lot of books that I'd totally forgotten about and was able to pull out some series that I really want to go back and read. So, yeah, man, some of the series that I pulled out that I'm going to go back and try to reread is, I got Deep State. I really want to sit down and read Deep State beginning to end. I really enjoyed this. This is from Boom Studios. It was a Justin Jordan series with Andrea Kirstentina doing the art. The art in this was amazing. The coloring in this and everything was amazing. And, I'm a huge Justin Jordan fan and really, really enjoyed this series, and I can't wait to go back and read it again. Pulled my issues out on 8. Really want to sit down and read this series again. I really enjoyed it. From Dark Horse, this was Raphael Albuquerque, Mike Norton, I believe, or Mike Johnson, that did this. And it was an amazing series. If you didn't read 8, you should really go and check 8 out in trade or something. That's the good thing about all these books is they're all out in trade. So, yeah, some really good reads. I'm going to go sit down and read God Killer again from the beginning. I might actually go and pick this up in trade instead of reading in singles again. Because I would like to have it in trade, so I may go back and pick this up. But God Killer is a Black Mask series that's done by Matt Piazzo, and I love all the covers on this because all the covers on this are done by Ben Templesmith, and I flippin' love Ben Templesmith. So yeah, awesome. Can't wait to go back and read Monsters and Madmen. I wish that you could really see that cover because I can't do justice to how cool that cover is. This was a Steve Niles series from IDW that was kind of a combo between like Jack the Ripper and Frankenstein that I don't really remember a whole lot about the series, and I can't wait to go back and reread it because all I remember is that I crazy enjoyed this series. So yeah. Supreme Blue Rose. I can't wait to go back and read this again. It's a really enjoyable series, but it kind of drug how the issues came out when it was coming out. So, yeah, really can't wait to go. This is another one I may try to go back and see whether or not it came out in one trade and pick this up in trade because, yeah, I really want to sit down and read that all the way through. I've really enjoyed the Rocher Limit series from Image. I believe this is from Image, yeah. It's been, a real space adventure type of thing. It's been broke down into a couple of different stories. You had this one, and then you had a second one, and you're about to have a third one, and they've all been enjoyable. They're in different times. Each story is kind of giving you a like Star Wars-y feel to the whole story. It's been just super good. I got Badass from Dynamite. I loved this cover, and I really just loved this character. He was so awesome. I wish that they would do more with this badass character. He was just kind of an unapologetic hitman that went around and was beating the crap out of people. And then this chick here was a crazy good assassin that was like the mob boss in the book. And yeah, so yeah, super good book. One of the best horror series that I read was the Evil Within. This is based on the video game, and Alex Sanchez's art in this book is just crazy, crazy good. Again, these are Ben Templesmith covers, which, you know, like I say, I love Ben Templesmith. Edichin that did the writing on this, it was just, this was one really, really spooky book, and I've heard that the game is also really scary, and I really felt that with this. I was really immersed in this like scary, creepy world that was going on. You didn't know when you flipped the next page in this book what exactly was going to go on. I got American Legends. This is kind of like a Manifest Destiny book, but with more magic. Kind of like a Lord of the Rings type of thing going on in it, with like Thomas Jefferson and someone else. I can't remember who the other person was, but another like historical figure that get on horses to try and go and intervene in a war, and on the way they run into all of these like crazy monsters and, you know, Paul Bunyan's, and it's a mismatch of all kinds of stuff that is out there. This was a Top Cow Image book and was crazy good. You got Squitters. This was written and drawn by Ben Templesmith. It's from IDW. I know I'm going to pick this up in a hardcover trade. I really, really enjoyed this book. The art inside, just everything about this book was really, really well conceived. I got The Wraith. This is by Joe Hill. It's a prequel to his Nosferatu book. This is something else that I'm also going to pick up in trade because I ordered the Nosferatu Wraith slipcase box set thing. So yeah, definitely going to pick this up again, but I want to sit down and read this story beginning to end. It is just a really, really warped story about this guy that is immortal and lives forever, but he does that by feeding on children's souls because he gets more energy from feeding on children's souls than he does other souls. So he goes and kidnaps all these children and takes them to this magical place called Christmas Land. And yeah, once they get there, they turn into little demons. And yeah, crazy, crazy good book. And I love this cover on the Wraith. Little bunny with a top hat. It's funny, I got two books that have top hats. 13 Coins, Simon Beasley series that came from Titan. This is just an awesome book. Las Vegas. This is like a space slavery book, that like a space casino, that when you lose, you have to work off your debt. And so they basically got like this whole slavery thing going on, which was, man, that was a really, really good book. Got Cloaks, about a street magician that gets recruited because of how he can read people and do things to go and like work for this espionage organization, because there is someone else that has a similar skill set to him that they can't do anything to stop, but so they recruit him so that maybe he can be stopped. DC released these national comic books, and they were all one-shots. I believe they came out like right when the New 52 began, but all four of these books, well, Madam X wasn't necessarily the best, but this Rose and Thorn was crazy good. Looker was so good, and Intercheat was really, really freaking good. And I can't wait to go back and read those. They were really, really enjoyable. I read them once, I put them up, and haven't read them again. And then last, I really want to go back and read this G.I. Joe Hearts and Minds series that Max Brooks wrote. I picked this series up, whenever it came out. Had to like special order it and everything, and then I never read it. So really happy that I found it so that maybe I can go back and read it. It was crazy to me when I went through these comics exactly how many of them I haven't read. There were so many comics that, I mean, I've got one stack of comics that are totally comics that I never read, that, you know, I ordered, and then when they came in, either I was already further along in the series, so I never read that issue or whatever, or one shots that I picked up or whatever that I did that I just never wound up reading those series. But you know, really, like I said, this is all about me telling myself, you know, don't let yourself get in this position again. You know, sort your comics. It's clear that you take care of them and everything, man, but please, 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 you don't want to ever go through this again. So, you know, like I was saying, I had taken that video down about getting rid of comics, but, you know, if you'd like to hit me up in a private message or something, maybe, that there's something that you're looking for, I'm really not attached to a whole lot of anything. There are certain things. I decided that I don't really want to get rid of my saga, and, you know, little things like that, but, you know, more or less, anything that I've got, I'm looking to get rid of. So, you know, just hit me up, and maybe we can work something out. Alright, I'll talk to you later then.